Hello and welcome back. We just had a bombshell of news of a LinkedIn post from a former Halo Studios employee. Normally this wouldn't be news, at least not here on Bethesda Watch. I mean, people get disenfranchised or upset with their place of business every week. Hell, I get disenfranchised and upset with my place of business every day. There are two ways this couple of posts stand out. One is that it's worded as an official legal complaint that alleges unlawful acts and retaliatory behavior. So, not just your regular complaining, alright? The other reason is that if this is true, and Microsoft owns every single game I cherished growing up, then this might actually affect me.
No, this whole thing, all of this, it's all about me.
And you. I mean, Microsoft owns Halo, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, and, well, yeah, Bethesda as well. So like it or not, your favorite games might be getting shittier every day, all for corporate greed and gross mismanagement. First, I want to go through the post from Glenn Israel on LinkedIn. I'll put a link in the description because I'm not going to go over this every line. I'm going to go pretty quick. First, he alleges that he was subjected to fraud, favoritism, and then when he complained about those things, harassment campaigns became a daily part of his life in response to him talking to HR.
We have sort of a problem here. Did you see the memo about this? If you could just go ahead and make sure you do that from now on, that would be great.
After multiple of these harassment campaigns from multiple sources within Microsoft going all the way to the very top of the management structures, and multiple groups whose entire purpose are to prevent said harassment, he was forced out of the company. He says that Microsoft uses the rolling layoffs, now a standard part of an American society, and to the company's unique culture to get rid of any employees who make any formal complaint at all. He alleges that the people who succeed at Halo and at Microsoft are those who are willing to engage in gamesmanship and play nice with their managers who are destroying their lives, rather than those who make good aspects that contribute to a good game. Something that seems to lend credence to this is the large number of comments from other professionals in the video game industry who also work for Microsoft, alleging that they too experienced similar things. Now, let's bring this home. There's a lot to read here, and there are other people who have done an admirable job covering all the details and how they affected people's lives. But let's be honest, that shit is boring. So I'm here to ask the important questions. How will this affect Fallout? How will Todd the God Howard be affected by this? How will Elder Scrolls 6 be affected by this? Well, I hate to break it to you, but there's probably nothing good to be said here. This probably won't come as a shock to anyone listening, but Microsoft has definitely exited the stage of their life where their money and talent was spent on improving things, and have entered the stage of their life where they feed on the talent and goodwill of other, smaller companies they acquire just to keep themselves alive. The problem with the issues Glenn states here is that they're systemic. Getting rid of Phil Spencer isn't going to fix this. The entire management structure was willing to cover for each other for years at a time, rather than face even mild repercussions for their illegal actions. These are the same kind of corporate ghouls who knowingly make a game company make less games and fire all of the relevant employees as long as it means that they get to stay in their office with their feet propped up and the AC on.
What would you say you do here?
I work for a huge corporation. It's not quite as big as Microsoft, but then what is, am I right? Anyway, I left my last position, a position where I owned a house, worked with a lot of friends, and I was very comfortable. I packed up my entire family and moved out of the state just to escape my own management structure. And to be clear, they were just kinda bad at their jobs. They weren't evil. The kind of insidious corruption Glenn is talking about here is insane to read. I got to a point where I couldn't do any work because all anyone wanted to do was have meetings, talk about the meeting, and then have a meeting to recap the meeting. If my managers had also been hostile and seeking to force me to resign anytime I complained, in addition to incompetent, I don't know what I'd do. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that incompetent management kills companies. The team I left continues getting nothing done, and it's not because of the team members. If just the management structure of my old team was enough to kill any forward momentum on a project everyone was initially excited about, imagine what actual illegal activities directed at employees will do. Imagine what decades of incompetence will do. Is it any wonder that every company Microsoft acquires doubles their development cycle, making half as many games that are half as good as they used to be? If they can't keep Halo alive, what makes you think Call of Duty will fare any better? What makes you think World of Warcraft will? How is Fallout or the Elder Scrolls supposed to survive when they're owned by a behemoth that cares more about filling managers' pockets than actually making games? I'm not trying to make excuses for Bethesda either. They were well on their way to this kind of beast of a management structure long before Microsoft took over. I guess this is just one more reason to temper your expectations. As a certified Bethesda shill, even I'm having to do that. Anyway, I make Fallout content here all the time, and despite all the bad news we're getting out of Bethesda nowadays, I'm trying to keep my chin up around here.
To help you remain tranquil in the face of almost certain death, smooth jazz will be deployed in 3, 2, 1.
So if you want a little positivity while you hear about all the bad news and stay up to date, well, stick around, wait for the next one, because I'm sure it's coming. And until then, I'll see you around.